Right then, in this little video clip we're going to go through the moving off and stopping exercise. Okay, so we're going to set out the personal greeting, clarification of the lesson and the plan of action for the moving off and stopping. So that's PST number 2, okay, at the phase 1 stage, and it's the beginner level. So once again, you're going to drive to the area in this particular lesson. Okay, so the examiner's brief will be something along the lines of just treat me as a learner, as you have been doing. Okay, my name is John. Okay, and my other instructor can't be here today, so you're going to step in to take the lesson for me. So I am familiar with the make and model of the car because it's what I normally have my lessons in, and I've had one lesson before. That was the controls lesson, so I'm familiar with the controls and where they are and what they all do, so I know all that. But today's lesson was going to be a follow-on from that, and it was going to be a moving off and stopping. Okay, and it's going to be at the beginner level. Okay, so I've only had one lesson. I've never actually moved the car. I've just gone through the controls. Okay, so that's about as much information as you get from them. If you want any more, you've got to ask for it. Okay, and that's what you do as when you go through a bit of Q&A, you can ask him how far he got in his last lesson. So by asking questions, you get information, and that's quite important as you go through your plan of action, and even when you go into the brief, because you need to find out what he knows, and the only way to find out what he knows is to ask him. Okay, so that's one of the problems that people have. They don't ask enough questions. So if you ask questions, you'll get answers, and the only way to get answers is to ask the questions for them. Okay, so the personal greeting, clarification lesson, and plan of action for moving off and stopping. Again, I'm going to play the dual role, so I'm going to play the part of the instructor and also the learner. Okay, so I'm going to go into role and start it off from now. Okay. Hello, John. My name's Innes. Is it okay if I call you John? Yeah, that's fine. Yes, yeah, John. Just call me John. That's fine. No problem at all. Excellent, John. Well, I'm sorry your instructor can't be here today, but he's asked me to step in to take the lesson for you. Okay. I hope that's okay. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. Well, he did mention that you'd be familiar with the make and model of the car because this is the kind of car that you normally have your lessons in. Is that correct? Yeah, it's the same kind of car that I was doing the controls lesson. All right, that's good. You done the controls last week? Yeah, we done the controls last week. Yeah, that's what we done. That was my first lesson. All right, very good. And how did that go? It was okay. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, quite enjoyed it. I was a bit disappointed we didn't get moving, but it was. He said that's what we're going to do today. Okay, that's good. Well, I was just going to ask you that. I was just to ask you that he did mention to me that today's lesson was going to be on moving off and stopping. So that's correct then, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's what you said. You said we'd do moving off and stopping today. Well, that's great. So, well, what we're going to do first of all is I'm going to drive to the training area. Okay, we're going to carry out that exercise. And we can recap a little bit of the last lesson while we cockpit drill. Cockpit drill? Oh, yeah, I think I remember that, yeah. Going through the cockpit. Yeah, so we're going to do that in a second, okay? So we'll recap a bit. As we drive to the training area, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a wee chat about the mirrors, okay? Because that's what we're really going to introduce today. We're going to introduce the MSM routine. I've never heard of that before. Oh, no. I know messenger, but I don't think we're going to use that today. No, we're not going to use that. So, MSM would mean mirror maneuver. Oh, right, mirror signal maneuver. Right, yeah, I think I've heard of that now. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's the whole base of the drive signal maneuver. Okay, we're going to introduce. So I'm going to have a wee chat about the mirrors while we drive to the area. Okay, once we reach the training area, swap seats. Okay, so we can have a wee recap on how to leave the car and enter the car. We'll go through your cockpit, and we're going to give brief. Know exactly what you're going to do, and then once we brief, we're going to put practice. Okay, so we'll be on the move, and we'll actually get you driving, and we're going to do a bit of stopping. As we I'm going to give you lots to make sure you get lesson progress. I'll reduce the level of instruction. Okay, so hopefully by the end of the lesson, move off and by yourself and using these little MSN routine. Okay, all with little help from me. How does that sound to you? Well, that sounds great. Yeah, that sounds excellent. Right then, and then you would then start off from there. You would, what I would do is introduce the cockpit drill from there, because I'm going to go through my cockpit drill. So I would go through. I would ask him to tell me. Yeah, and that's something we're going to do as well. We'll follow this on with more video footage for each lesson, basically. So from there, you would get him to tell you the cockpit drill. So, can you remember that cockpit drill? And he's, oh, I can't remember the first thing. Or, doors, handbrake, seat, and from there. So we'll follow that on with another video clip. But that's your personal greeting, clarification lesson, and the plan of action. Okay, so we're going to stick with that for the moment, and we'll be in touch with more video footage. Okay, thank you.